Welcome, everyone, to the Old Schoolhouse interview series. I'm so glad you're able to join us. I'm Heather Vogler, and today I will be interviewing homeschool mom Crystal Marcum, the curriculum designer for schoolhouseteachers.com. And I'm so excited to have a chance to hear from her today because she will be sharing about the new school boxes that have recently become part of schoolhouseteachers.com. I know many of you are looking forward to hearing about what these are, how they work, and how they can benefit your homeschool experience. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that we are streaming this live and would love for you to quickly go and share this with anyone you know new to homeschooling or seriously considering it. Feel free to ask questions in the comment box, and we will do our best to answer as many as we can. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us. It's so exciting to go over these school boxes. One day they just appeared on the site and everyone was so excited about them, but we know that it really didn't just appear. There was a lot of hard work that went behind it, and we have you to thank for it. So thank you. Would you mind telling us a bit about yourself and the role that you have with Schoolhouse Teachers?
Yes, sure. Thank you for having me today. I'm excited to be able to share this with you. My name is Crystal Marcum, and I work for the Old Schoolhouse, but I work in the Schoolhouse Teachers Division, which is their curriculum site. I work with the courses that we have, creating new things to make it easier for families to use them. So I'm pretty excited to share these with you. It's been a long work in progress, but it is finished. And now you will reap the benefits this school year. So I'm pretty excited to share with you today.
That is wonderful. I am so excited to just dive right into this. And would you mind showing us a little bit about how Schoolhouse Teachers work?
Yes,
or the school
I'll be
boxes
glad to.
Great.
I have a presentation to share with you. So let me get that set up here on my side.
Well, thank you. I know so many people have been asking questions, wanting to know exactly how it works. And of course, we have others who have just jumped right in and started using it. And it's just a wonderful feature that schoolhouseteachers.com has to offer.
It is. It's really in two parts. So I'm going to explain those to you today. First, we have the school boxes, but the school boxes are made up of the curriculum guides. So this presentation works us through the school boxes first, and then actually what the curriculum guides are and how to use them. So as you see on your screen, school boxes are for grades K through 12. We have them for every grade, and they are included with your membership. There's nothing extra you have to buy or nothing additional that you need to sign up for. It's all included with your schoolhouseteachers.com membership. They are also for all core subjects. So we have them in grades K through 12 for all core subjects. They're in one convenient place, which you'll see in a minute. Pretty easy for you to find. So that's great too. And it's a full year. So it's everything that you need for from August to May or year round if you choose to do that. However, it's open and go. You don't have to buy anything extra. You don't have to have anything. You don't have to go and get anything on the fly. You'll know what that is up front. And you should just be able to use the curriculum guide to teach your year. So it's pretty great. So I'm sure that sounds really exciting. Let's find out where they are. So if you see here, this is our schoolhouseteachers.com homepage. And this blue menu bar is kind of your guide for the site. Well, if you hover over school boxes, you will notice that we have elementary, middle, and high school, all 12 or all 13 right there for you. You can just click on whichever one you want and it will take you there. So for this presentation today, we are going to look in depth at third grade. So if you clicked on third grade, the first thing you would see, and this is a presentation, so it is slides, but you, of course, can scroll through the web page. We just don't have that for you today. So immediately when you click on third grade, you'll see at the very top this beautiful header that has your virtual curriculum box for you right here. And you'll notice this has a sea creature on it. So each one of them have a different animal, so that can kind of help keep you straight, which I think is really interesting. And this is the third grade box. If you keep scrolling down, you will come to some important questions. These aren't questions necessarily for how to use it. They're questions for what is it and how does it work. So we're going to go through a few of these today, but if you would like to look more in depth at them, feel free to come back right here. It's just right under that header. First, is this a physical box of materials shipped to my home? No, it is not. It's a set of online materials. So you have some PDFs, some videos, and some other resources that are included with your Schoolhouse Teachers membership. There's no physical box that's coming to you. Do you have to use the, in this case, third grade curriculum guides for every subject? No, that's one of the beauties of homeschooling. We can piece together what we want. So if you are just really looking for something for language arts, then you go to that school box that you want and click language arts. If you need science, same type of thing. We have tailored it to the grade. And also if there's something in the grade that you aren't going to use, if you want to use the whole thing except you want a different science course, that's fine. You don't have to use the science option. What's in the third grade homeschool curriculum box? Well, this is going to be in every school box that you have. You're going to have a curriculum guide that is made for each subject and correlates with our scope and sequence. Our scope and sequence on the website is like a roadmap through your school year. It stops at every grade level and it tells you the expectations for that grade level. So this is correlated directly with that. We've done all that work for you. You don't have to go through and piece it all together. It also has a weekly checklist to keep you on track. It has daily checklists that guide you and your student through each activity. If you're familiar with our lesson plans, then it's very similar to that daily checklist. There are direct links to schoolhouseteachers.com courses and resources that you would need. And suggested materials are included also, and additional links. So it's a very live, it's a living document. You click on it and use it. It would be more useful definitely to click to learn your way around it on the computer before you print it, because you may find after you've printed it, I need to be able to click. And of course you can't do that if it's printed. So study it first online before you print. This is probably my favorite question, and it's different for each of the grade levels. So it's a neat thing to look through. What will my child learn when we follow the third grade homeschool curriculum guides? Well, this is a snapshot of what you will see in the third grade curriculum guide. So you see some math objectives, English language arts, all your subjects. You see some objectives of what you'll cover. Is it everything that you'll cover? No, but it just gives you a snapshot. So you could look through and say, oh, science, okay, in third grade, we're going to study at least plants, animals, body systems, rocks, and minerals. Okay. That's great. And you could look at fourth grade and fifth grade and all the others to see what's included there too. So this is my favorite question because it's actually tailored to the particular box. All right. So if you keep scrolling down, remember we're on a web page here, you keep scrolling down past the questions, you get to these boxes. And notice for third grade, we have 10 of them. You're going to click on each subject to reveal the contents of the guide and the downloadable PDF file, which is the actual curriculum guide. Most of these are 36-week courses. The exceptions are health, art, and music, because we thought maybe you would want to do lessons or something included with a co-op or outside activities or anything like that, and we wanted to give you that freedom. If they are not 36-week courses, they are 18, which is one semester. And you can split that up however you wanted to. If you wanted to stretch that out into a full year, you could do that with no problem also. All right, we're going to look at English language arts today because it's probably the most in-depth one. So again, if you click on the subject, it brings up this box. And here you see English language arts. Here's your download, this blue link. Anytime you click there, it's going to take you to download something or to look at something else. So you have a blue link that takes you to the curriculum guide. But look at this. All of these courses here are the things that we have put together for you to make the English Language Arts Curriculum Guide. So we used pieces from our Literacy Center, pieces from our Daily Grammar, pieces from Adventures in Writing, and so on. Pieces from each of these courses put together into a 36-week guide. So you don't have to do that work for you. You don't have to do that work for your school year. We did it for you. We did that for all of the English Language Arts guides for grades K through 8. Because English language arts is so comprehensive, we wanted to make sure that we were getting pieces from the different courses that we thought would be beneficial. Here's an example of science. Look at all the courses that are included in the third grade science guide. Math, we only had one course there because we already had a third grade math course, so we linked to that. Spelling, I want to make a note and let you know about spelling here. Spelling is not included in our English Language Arts Guide because so many students are at different levels. We didn't want to lock you in to a certain spelling where you would have to find, you would have to realize, I have to skip this because it doesn't, my child can't do that yet, or that's beyond my child's ability, or too easy or too hard, whatever. So we put spelling separately so you could tailor that to your own family. Art is 3 courses combined. We have 2 history options, a traditional and a classical, and here are the 3 options that are combined there. Ready, one more. Oh, sorry. Okay, so looking here, look at all these courses we've put together in this school box for you. Isn't that exciting? You don't have to do that work. We've already done it. You just have to do these specific downloads to get the curriculum guide that you want. Pretty cool. And we've done that for all the grade levels. Okay, now, back to, remember we went to school boxes, we went to 3rd grade. That's how we found that to start with. So if you want any other grades, you can do that. Let me give you a little glimpse here of 10th grade, because you may be out of elementary land and moving into high school world. That's great too. High school is a little bit different in these school boxes because we already had a pretty solid curriculum for high school. So we didn't have to piece a lot of things together. We just put it in one place for you. So if we click on 10th grade, here you have a 10th grade box with a tiger this time, a different animal. And here you only have 9 options. What's missing is health, because we put health in the 9th grade curriculum box. Does that mean you only have to do it in 9th grade? Of course not. You do it whenever it suits your family, but we didn't include it in the 10th grade box. Okay, so 10th grade, you can see it looks a little bit different. There's only the 1 course there. Same layout, it's just not a compilation of courses. Literature and writing are separate. Same reason as spelling in the elementary grades, because high school children are at different levels. We want to make sure you tailor your work to your student. Math, history, art, that's a compilation course. And science is general biology. So you see, again, all of this is included in your virtual box. So that's pretty neat. High school looks very similar. You'll just notice fewer compilation courses. Hope that makes sense to everyone. I know that's a lot of information to cover.
That is amazing.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I lost my thing. All right, now let's move into the curriculum guides. These are for grades K through 12 also. They are for all core subjects. They are aligned with our scope and sequence. I talked about that. That's the roadmap we mentioned earlier. They are similar layout to lesson plans. The full year is planned, and they are linked to specific courses. One of those questions, remember when we clicked and we had the questions that came up, one of them was, may I see a sample of a curriculum guide? Rather than post a sample there that may or may not be for something that is useful to you, we just posted an infographic that instead would give you what the layout of a guide would look like. So you can see this is kind of 3 pages of it if you think about it. And I'm not going to read all of this to you. You can go to that and see it, but I'm going to point out a few things for you. If you're like me and you have several children in your homeschool, you need to know what grade you're teaching and to whom at what time. So here is your grade level and subject. Here are some brief instructions for how to use the guide. Resources needed for the entire course. Additional things from our scope and sequence. That would all be on the front page. The second page would be this 36-week plan. And then after that would start your weekly plans. And we'll look at this much more in depth when we look at an actual guide in a minute. Okay, back to English Language Arts. Remember I told you we were going to kind of focus on that a little bit for 3rd grade. So this is that box that came up. We click on 3rd grade English Language Arts Curriculum Guide because it's blue, and that lets us know that it's a link. It will go somewhere. So when we click on that, here we have our actual curriculum guide. So exciting. So again, it tells us 3rd grade English Language Arts Curriculum Guide. And here are those instructions. You can read those at your leisure. Resources needed. For English Language Arts, we don't have a ton of those because a lot of it is paper and pencil type activities. So you don't need that. But I want to show you what that would look like if that were full of things. So this is a 1st grade social studies. And here's that resources section. So if you notice, it's quite a bit bigger, and it tells you very specific things. For weeks 1 through 12, you need a globe. For week 18, you need 5 craft sticks. So it kind of gives you that at a glance, so you have an idea going in whether or not you need to beef up your craft closet, or whether or not you need to make a trip to the library or whatever. That stuff is there for you, because here on week 28 through 36, it gives you even specific books that you need. So that's laid out for you, which is a really neat feature, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing here are the other courses that we have that would supplement language arts. They are on our site. They are free with your membership also, and we got these off of our scope and sequence. I'm a planner, so this is probably one of my favorite pieces, because this is the full year of language arts at a glance. I like that because I pull in a lot of extra things sometimes, or I'm kind of picky about activities and I may not really like that one. I may want to do something that's my very favorite that I did with my other child and we loved it, so I have to do it with this one. So if you look ahead, so let's just use week 12 says I can summarize text. If you have a special book that you like to do summarizing with, or you have an activity that you like to do or whatever, then you'll be able to plug that in on week 12. So that's pretty exciting, I think, to be able to look way ahead like that. But that's how my brain works. So maybe for you, maybe not for you. Let's scroll down to the next page. The next page is where we actually begin the teaching. And English language arts, do not get overwhelmed at all the links you see here. This is the most linked course that we have, because English language arts is so inclusive of many other things. So we're going to go through this step by step for day 1. Here we are. Week 1, I can answer questions about the story. All right, let's look at this first bullet. Weekly skill from the Literacy Center. I can answer questions about the story. Well, that doesn't really tell you anything to do. Not an activity, you're right. But it does tell you, okay, this week we're going to be talking about how to answer questions. So I need to focus on that when we're reading aloud or whatever else. You know that that's something that you're focusing on. If you click on this blue link, remember everything in blue you can click on. You click on a blue link, that takes you to our Literacy Center. Now it takes you to the course page. And our Literacy Center is a huge document. It starts at preschool, pre-reading skills, and goes all the way to 4th or 5th grade. Comprehension skills. So it's very in-depth. So you're going to scroll down, which may be a little bit of scrolling, but that's okay, and you'll understand why in a second. You're going to scroll down here to I can answer questions about the story when you find that objective that you're working on. From this point forward, it will be sequential. So week 2 is going to be I can place events of the story in the proper sequence. From week 3, I can identify characters. So at this point, you're just working down the Literacy Center. Now, when you these arrows point down, that just lets you know the list. When you click on that arrow, it will point up and some things will come up underneath it. If your child needs some extra help with answering questions about the story, use these. There are plenty of activities that are also free with your membership. You use those and work on those. We don't include them in the curriculum guide for you because everyone may not need that. All right, that's how you get to the Literacy Center. So that's done. Second bullet. Read chapter 1 of Adventures of Buster Bear. What? How in the world am I going to get Adventures of Buster Bear? Well, it's a blue link. So when we click on it, here it is, a 47-page Buster Bear story. I would not advise printing this. I would practice reading from a screen at this point because that's going to be a lot of printed material for you. However, if you work that way, print away. You can see it looks just like a regular book. We have the title page, we have a table of contents, and here's our first chapter of Buster Bear Goes Fishing right there. All right, so we're going to read that chapter and we're going to answer the comprehension questions. You don't have to make those comprehension questions. You click on the blue link and here they are. Here's your 5 questions for Buster Bear Goes Fishing. This is a 16-page download, so all of your questions are going to be in the same download. Second bullet is finished. Third bullet, reading complete lesson 1 of Daily Grammar 3rd grade. All right, it's pretty self-explanatory. You click on Daily Grammar 3rd grade. It takes you to the Daily Grammar course page. Here you have a couple of options. You can download the course pretty much 1/3 at a time, or you can download it maybe 9 or 10 lessons at a time, whichever you prefer. That's your choice. But that's a little bit of prep work that you're going to have to do in advance, or know, okay, this is going to take me to a site where I have to do something else. Okay, so we have finished day one, it looks like. Let's see. Weekly skill from the Literacy Center, we know what that is. Reading and comprehension questions, we know what those are. Completing lesson 1 of daily grammar, we know what that is. Great. So now we're ready to move on to our next subject. That's pretty easy, right? As I told you when we started this curriculum guide discussion, everything is not going to be this click heavy. Let me give you an example. In 3rd grade, the 3rd grade traditional history curriculum guide, that's a compilation course too. It's compiled of 3 different courses. But when we go there, you will notice everything from week 1 comes from this one download. So the directions are at the top of the week. Read material and complete activities from the course, Stories of Great Americans by Little Americans, or for Little Americans, sorry. So when you click on that, it's going to take you to that course page, and you're going to do exactly what it says. Day 1, download week 1, print week 1 vocabulary sheet, and complete the sheet. So from that point on, it works just like a lesson plan. At the beginning of every week in courses like this, it has where it comes from at the top. That's a lot of information to cover, but it should make you really excited, because you can have your school year planned in no time with these curriculum guides and school boxes. Again, easy way to find them. On our menu bar, you go to school boxes, and here are your choices, and click around. Have some fun looking at some things that you may find interesting to do next school year.
Crystal, that's amazing. I'm so thankful that you provided this for us, for everybody at Schoolhouse Teachers. We do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Patty wants to know, can I purchase a pre-printed guide?
No, we do not have pre-printed guides. Everything is online. One of the reasons for that is you may not want the whole thing. You may only want certain pieces of it, and we don't want you to have a document where you're not going to use all of it. So no, but you can print whatever pieces you want of it.
That's a good point. And like you said, there's so many links, so many things online that you just would click through. So it makes sense to do it online. I think my favorite part that when you were showing this was the little check boxes. I think it's so great. You could do that online. You don't have to print that out. You can just do it right there. I think that's wonderful. So we have a question from Laura. Is this only a virtual program?
It is only available online, yes. There are PDFs, there are some videos, there are some ebooks. Yes, it is only available online.
Okay, wonderful. If anybody else has any other questions, please feel free to just hop right in and ask. You know, the first time I explored Schoolhouse Teachers as a member, it was like the first time I attended a homeschool convention. So much. There were so many philosophies, methodologies, workbook-based curriculum, hands-on curriculum, and it's not just that there were so many different things to choose from, but each and every vendor had so much depth and quality. And when you were clicking through and I'm seeing Thornton Burgess, I mean, that's the one that wrote Burgess Bird Book for Children. That's so quality right there. That's really good stuff. There's, like you've said, there's no textbooks to buy. Everything is right there, which is excellent.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is the English Language Arts curriculum guides, because before, when people would ask us, what do you do for language arts for your whatever grader, whatever K through 8th grader, we would say, well, you could use some of this, and you could use some of this, and you could use some of this. And now we don't have to, because we've put the whole thing together for you.
Yes, I think this is going to help a lot of new homeschooling parents coming on the scene who have no idea how to homeschool, and this could just give them the extra push that they need. Everything's right there. I want to homeschool 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. I have everything I need. And then maybe after doing it a little while, they'll get a little more comfortable and they can just move around the site and find other things that interest their child or that works for them as a homeschool mom or dad. So this is great. This is excellent. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
Who do you think would benefit the most from these boxes? I mean, you have all kinds of homeschoolers out there. What type of mom do you think is going to be all over this?
Well, I definitely think, first of all, I think it'd be great for people who don't know where to start because everything is right there for you. Um, the other thing that I think would be great is for those moms that want kind of a pre-packaged thing, but really want to put in their extra too. Like they have their favorite dinosaur unit and they want to cover that. So they can look through that 36-week guide for science and figure out where their dinosaur unit would fit. I think that page is probably one of the most important pieces to me.
Right. Do you think that this could be used by year-round schoolers, rolled schoolers, non-traditional schoolers, or does it have to be September through May or whatever your school district requires, or, you know, in the public school, what they require? Do you have to, are these boxes created just for that type of homeschooling?
I definitely think it could be used by year-round homeschoolers, and it could also be used by people who kind of want to speed it up. You know, if they have other things they want to do, you see things online all the time. People who students do 3 and 4 and 5 math lessons a day. You know, math is their students' thing, and that's what they really want. Okay, that's fine. You do as much as you want whenever you want, and when you finish, you can look on schoolhouseteachers.com and find another course to start. Or you could take lessons somewhere. You could go take a class at your co-op. Or I definitely think it's extremely flexible. No one is checking in on you to see where you are in the guide. If it is October and you're supposed to be on week 10 and you're on week 2 or you're on week 20, no one's going to ask you why. This is totally yours. You customize it to what works for your family. So absolutely, it can work for year-round homeschoolers.
That's great. If I don't have any other questions, then I have one last question for you. What advice would you give to a new homeschooling mom during these unprecedented times?
Calm down.
Good
It's
advice.
a crazy time for everyone. You are what your child needs. So you know them best. You know them better than anyone. You are going to be able to meet their needs this school year, and they are going to have a great year spending time with you. So calm down, take a deep breath, think about what your child likes, and go from there.
Good advice, Crystal. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for joining us to visit with Crystal Marcum, curriculum designer at schoolhouseteachers.com. Remember, you can discover more about the resources they offer by visiting schoolhouseteachers.com and stop by the old schoolhouse for all your homeschool needs. From quarterly magazine, available in print subscription and online and through the free app, to all of the amazing free resources available for new homeschooling parents at tryhomeschooling.com. The focus of the Old Schoolhouse is to strengthen you in faith, knowledge, hope, and your future, and to keep your children home where they belong. Also, if you would like to see more interviews like these, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page so you can be alerted when we hold our monthly interviews. If you enjoyed this video, please like. And if you are watching this post-production and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to the Old Schoolhouse magazine on the Facebook page. Thank you, and see you next time on the Old Schoolhouse interview series.